Hello everybody, it's Erin at Scandalous Beauty. This video is all about foundation, and what we're going to do is explain the type of foundation by the product itself, by the coverage that you would like to get from the foundation, and by the effect that you would like the foundation to give. So to break it down a little bit, there will be a series of links for different tutorials, video tutorials on how to apply foundations, how to choose your color, things like that. That will all be found in the About This Video section, so please click through them, learn from them. They've all been done with a specific subject in mind, so they're available for you. Utilize them. It will enhance your research, I promise. It's helpful, really. They took me a lot of time over the years to do. And then also what I would like to do is do a foundation follow-up. And in that follow-up, I want to include your questions about foundation. Now, halt. It's not going to be one of those videos where I'm specifically telling you what kind of foundation color you should choose, because I do have a video on that already. But what it will be is, any other type of questions that you have. I just don't want to single people out and answer specific questions based on one person right then in that video for everyone, but I would like to do general questions. So if enough of you have the same kind of question, I'd love to throw that in there. But that's going to be in the Foundation 102 video. And I'm also going to talk about foundations for makeup artists, the best ones to keep in your kit. I think that's one of the biggest questions that all makeup artists have. So I would love to go through that. And let's go ahead and get the video popping. One of the ways to choose what kind of foundation you would like is by coverage. Now, the three basic choices are light coverage, medium coverage, and full coverage. So a light coverage foundation is just going to give you enough to even out your skin tone. It's not going to be foundation that looks like you have foundation on. It's not even going to really resemble much of anything. Your skin is just going to look effortlessly lovely if you already have pretty good skin, pretty decent skin. If you have, scarring, or if you have acne, if you have, red skin or anything like that where you need to balance it out, you're not going to want to use a sheer coverage. You're going to want to bump it up a little bit. So tinted moisturizers work well for this. There are also lots of foundations out that say, just a little, some. I think even Clinique has one, I don't know if they still have it, but there's one for athletes, and it's just like a sports foundation where it's just a little bit of product, but it's got some SPF in it. So that is one option. Another option would be medium coverage, which is probably standard. It's just going to make your skin look amazing, but not look like you have a lot on. So medium coverage foundations, I think, are almost the best way to go because you kind of get the best of both worlds. I do think that most foundations are medium coverage, and you can pretty much find them anywhere. Pretty much. And lastly, there's full coverage foundations. These are going to make you flawless. They're going to cover pretty much anything that you need to cover. Your foundation, your face will look one solid color depending on where you want it to be, and it is going to give you the bang for your buck. If you have serious scarring or serious imperfections that you want hidden, some people in some cultures like to look lighter, make their skin look lighter. Still haven't figured out why people do this, but that's whatever. And some people like to look darker, so they opt for foundations that are really going to cover them. These could also fall into the drag foundations, although most of them are full coverage pretty much, but you'd have to do a lot to make them look like you were wearing drag makeup. So don't take it, too far, but those are the basic coverages of foundations. One of the most popular ways of choosing your foundation is by the type of foundation that it is. Now, there are liquid foundations, There are powder foundations, cream foundations, and there are even spray foundations, as well as mineral foundations, which can kind of fall into the powder category. Most times. Yeah. Okay. So one of the most popular types of foundation is liquid. That's kind of like the old school, was always been around, good kind of foundation. It comes in sheer, medium, full coverages. It can be found everywhere. Just about every brand has a liquid foundation, and they are pretty easy to apply. You can use a brush for this or a sponge, whatever you choose. You can use your fingers. You have a lot of options with that, but liquid foundation is the standard for the most part. There are cream foundations. Cream foundations come in compacts and they come in sticks. Now, cream foundations can also often give you a full coverage foundation, and you can kind of tone them down to a medium coverage foundation, but just think of the consistency of a cream versus like the consistency of an oil, let's say. If you were to use frosting on your cake, it would be thick. It will give you more coverage. It's going to cover the entire cake. Where if you were to use like an oil to cover to cover, you know, a pan or something like that, it's just going to be a little bit thinner. It's going to cover the way you want it to cover, but it's not going to be as thick as a cream. I know that was a real odd, you know, choice of examples, but yeah, that's how I did it. So a cream is also a great way to get a really flawless finish, as is a liquid, but a cream will give you a completely different look. And the next foundation would be a powder foundation, which oftentimes you can use just as a powder. You can use it in conjunction with your foundation, your liquid or your cream foundation or your spray foundation, and they are always a good bet to have. Currently, the only powder foundation I've ever used is MAC Studio Fix, which people either like love it or they hate it. Well, no, there's some people that are in between, but there are a lot of people that just hate MAC Studio Fix. There's a lot of people that just hate MAC. So let's cover that right now. But it's one of those cult products that some people swear by. So that's one product. I have gone through quite a few Studio Fix compacts, but I am really excited to try the Makeup Forever Duo Matte foundation, powder foundations. They just look a little silkier and look like they can do a lot more. Like they have an interesting texture and whatnot, but they have less colors. So that's the next item on my shopping list. But that is powder foundation, and depending on how much you use, you can get a light coverage or you can get a full coverage. You can make your skin look as if you were wearing a liquid if you apply it in a different way. Usually using a brush, a dense brush, or using the sponge that comes with it, just really getting it in like that. And the spray foundations, these are quite interesting. They can almost give you an airbrushed look. They're like light to medium coverage, and they're basically like a liquid, but when you spray them, they become well, they're a liquid. They stay a liquid pretty much. I can show you. This is what I have here. This is a Studio Mist by MAC. I know Dior has one that people swear by, but I don't have it, and apparently it doesn't. Well, maybe it does come in our color. I don't know, but I've heard that people have trouble finding their color in it. So this color is light medium. This is not my color, clearly, but I do own it in the event that I'm going to do somebody's makeup. So you would just shake it like so and spray it. I'm just using bubble wrap because I was sitting on my desk, but just spray it. And as you see, it's very, very light. But you would use your foundation brush or your sponge and apply it to your face there. Don't try this. You don't do that. Just don't. Actually, you know what? If you feel frisky enough, go ahead and try it and see what happens. I wouldn't suggest it, however. Foundation I like to wear is by deciding what I want my face to look like for the day. So if I want a natural, I just got out of bed and my skin looks flawless just because I have amazing skin look, I could go with XYZ foundation. Or you can decide, oh, my skin needs to be matte today. I just want it to be no shimmer, no sheen, just beautifully not oily, powdered, lovely foundation. I can go with ABC foundation, whichever that might be. Or some days you just want to look very dewy. You want to look red carpet, runway, beautiful. I don't want to say wet. You don't want your face to look wet, but you want it to look moist and supple and delish, luxurious. Then you could use another type of foundation accompanied by different products, because different products can help enhance that look. And there is also a way that you can have your skin look completely glowy. It just looks like it's bronzy, or it looks like it's luminous. So you would go with a glowy foundation or products that will assist a glowy foundation. That to me is the best way to go. And what you can do is oftentimes modify whatever foundation that you have to give you any of those type of effects, or you can purchase a foundation that will do those particular things.